My first TikTok was made in July last year.
That's incredible.
Well, actually, that's when I downloaded the app, really, and then posted my first one. And then I hit 1 million followers last October. No, October 27th last year. I hit 1 million.
Oh, that's absolutely
now when you started
insane.
TikTok, did you like get into it thinking like I want to do this professionally, like I want to make something out of this?
Professional TikTok.
No, but like
I was just about to say
like I think you mean just entertainment.
Yeah.
Well, like as a profession.
Mm-hmm. So my entire life, I've like was in competitive dance, and I feel like anyone in competitive dance like grows up wanting to perform and entertain. Yeah. So it wasn't like a question for me. It was kind of just something I'd always had a passion for. And then in Louisiana, like realistically, Zane, are you okay? I'm kidding. Zane, pay attention.
He's just slowly falling over.
He falls asleep. He's like, and now I fall asleep randomly all the time.
I was off camera, but the fact that you just talked to me and she's gonna put the camera
now
on
I'm gonna
me,
put the camera on.
Love the spot,
right? I'm just saying.
I need everyone to have coverage on this episode. No, but in Louisiana, it's like not really common for people to just be like, oh yeah, chase your dreams. Like it's very routine in the South. You know, it's like, you know, you kind of know.
Most people get like stuck.
Yeah, well, because it's just
especially in Florida,
and not in a bad way. It's just like, oh,
it's
you kind of grow up knowing like this is comfortable, and like you know, you go to high school, you graduate, you find someone you love, and you marry them, then you go to college, and
then you have babies by 18.
Yeah, over there, it wasn't necessarily like anyone pushing me to do anything about it. Like, oh, you love to do this, like, cool. Dance for your college team or something.
Helping you and like pushing you a lot to pursue your dreams?
Yeah, 100%. They always have been supportive, but I think they didn't push me to do anything about it because I didn't necessarily have that like I've always had drive to do things and like intention, but I never like I also was in a relationship for a really long time and like for 5 years, like, you know, high school all throughout. Yeah. And so like in that relationship, I was like, oh, I definitely don't want to move ever or leave, you know, and not be with this person because I kind of thought like, oh, in Louisiana, you know, you find the one you want to be with and then you stay with them and then you kind of stay where they are. There's nothing
else, like life doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Around
so
that
and that's kind of how I thought. And so they never like pushed me outside of that because I didn't want to be pushed outside of that. Mm-hmm. But then once I did go to college, I went to study sports broadcasting journalism, which was kind of going to be like, for me in my brain, it was like, this is my way to like get into like entertainment, you know, without having people being like, okay, that's unrealistic. You're not going to go to LA and you're not going to be a movie star. You're not going to do that, you know?
But you had the intention or hope of
I had that kind of like other, like my mindset was also thinking like, okay, this is going to be the way I do it, you know, because if I can't do it by going to LA and making it, then I got to do something about it here because I love this. Yeah. And then I went there for a few months. I was there for like 3 months in college and, I realized I was really bad at, I wasn't bad at writing papers, but it was just taking a lot of time. And I didn't want to spend my time writing papers. I wanted to do the talking. And so I went to my like counselor's office and I was like, so can I get the papers to switch to pre-dental? Which was like, obviously, I know, completely opposite.
Right? Pre-dental.
Right? So and then literally, I think 2 weeks later, I went to LA for the first time. And then I was like, all right, I want to move there. And then in November, I was like, hey, mom and dad, I literally have to move. And I had just hit 1 million that following like few weeks.
What did you go to LA for though that first time? Was it because of like TikTok? Or
anything? Because Famous Birthdays had like messaged me and was like, let's do an interview. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm like next door.
There's no,
I literally booked the trip.
I'm down the block. I'm on my way
to get you. Yeah,
it's the only person that sent a happy birthday to Zane on Twitter.
And then deleted it.
No. I had 2 verified birthday posts from verified accounts, and one of them was Famous Birthdays, and the other one was this other article, and they deleted it after 10 minutes.
We got no traction.
They didn't get that retweet. They were like, pull it. Pull
the plug.
Yeah, you definitely need to say it's your birthday when it comes to like social media, like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You gotta play it up.
Yeah.
I like this year. I just didn't care. Really.
I didn't really.
So
either.
would you say
they
gave you like your big break and inspired you to come out here?
I wouldn't say like big break or anything, but I would say like it definitely was like my excuse to get out to LA like ASAP, you know. And then I did that. I came here.
Did you like it?
And the Famous Birthdays?
No, LA.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I came here one other time before that trip, and it was when I was 16, and I like begged my mom to take me here with my cousin and my best friend, and I was like, please, for my 16th birthday, that's all I want is to come to LA.
Probably took a picture like this.
So we did. Oh, 100%, like
it's
30.
It's so exciting because you're coming from like not to say nothing, but you're coming from something that's completely different from like what you grew up in.
You went from LA to LA.
LA to LA.
Yeah.
And
do you miss Louisiana?
I get asked that a lot, and I feel like the answer is always no.
Okay.
Not because of anything specifically. Like I love my family that is all there because most of them are in Louisiana and Texas. But from like a home like standpoint, no, because I don't really have a sense of home, which is like so sad to say. But like I really don't.
Sad.
I've like moved to so many places.
Yeah.
While like throughout my childhood that I like don't have a sense of like, oh, if you could go back home, I'm like, where is that? You know, like what exactly is that?
Do
Because
you know where you started? Like where
yeah, I was born in Lafayette, and then after 5th grade. So like I mean, you can't really remember that much from that time. So it's like I wouldn't go back to like be around people that I was with until I was in 5th grade. And then in 6th grade, I went to Houston and I lived there for 3 years. And then I moved to North Louisiana, which is a completely different place. And then I lived there for high school. And then I moved to Baton Rouge for college. I just hit my face on the mic.
That's crazy.
She a wanderer. Okay.